What's up everybody, Tim Conley here, and we're going to talk about getting your first 4 clients or your next 4. That sound cool? If that's cool, then let's check it. The first thing we have to do about getting our first 4 clients is to set a goal to, get our clients. Most people think SMART goal. I can't remember how the acronym goes, like something like specific, measurable, actionable, and some other stuff. I don't know. I don't use SMART goals. I use a process. I figure out what it is that I want, and this process, the procedures I need to take to get there. If I'm trying to do something that's difficult where I don't really know if this action will get me this result, if I don't know, then I focus on the process of getting to my goal. And this is something that you'll see a lot of A-type people who will tell you, no, that's terrible advice. You've got to set a goal and you got to stick to it and you got to have this discipline and right? It's no, I'm not that way. I don't function that way. I don't know if you are, if you're an A-type person where it's I'm going to set a goal and I'm going to do everything possible to get that goal. Well then, sure, set a SMART goal. SMART goals kind of make sense for certain personalities and for certain types of goals, like really short-term goals. And I guess for our first 4, they are sort of short-term because we're only going to talk about getting 1 client per month for the first 4 months. Can you do it faster? Oh yeah, you can get all 4 in a week if you really hustle. It'd be hard, but you could do it. But we're not going to try to do hard. We're not going to try to kill ourselves in the process of getting them. Because what we want are 4 good clients, not 4 any clients. So in this video, we're going to make our 4 yes calendar. The process that we're going to take to get the 4 yeses that we need to transform our lives, to transform our small agency. I know there's a lot of people watching my channel who are wanting to get started in the agency game. They want to provide a professional service. They want to be a consultant. They want to run their own agency, and that's cool. Don't quit your job. Straight up. It's hard. Getting steady income from professional services takes a while. Even if you're good, if you start off already as an expert, you've got to learn how to go get clients, which is what we're talking about today. And then you've got to learn how to manage a company. You've got to deal with all the bookkeeping and all the other crap that comes along with running a company. So if you are already employed, stay employed. Just focus on getting 1 client who pays you at least $25,000 for a project, and then move forward to the 2nd client and the 3rd client and the 4th client. You do that. In 4 clients, you will be able to launch your business. But if you think, oh, Tim's got super secret stuff and I'll just listen to him and I'll quit my job and within a month I'll be rich, you're going to be sorely disappointed, because I've seen lots of people, amazing experts, running a company, doing really well, and then just hit a dry spell. They're running their company, they've got a staff of 10 people, and then all of a sudden, they're not getting clients. They're not landing the projects that they really need to advance the company, and they start taking on projects that just pay the bills, and then they start into a downward spiral. So I don't want you to go into this business thinking it's going to be smooth sailing through the whole process. There will be ups and downs. So what we want to do is set up our baseline and our runway. Runway is how long will your money last? The longer it lasts, the more likely you're going to stay in business. Your baseline is how much money do you spend? Can you lower your baseline rate? Can you get your monthly expenses as low as possible to extend your runway? Because the longer your runway lasts, the longer you last. And it gives you a greater chance of succeeding in business. And this is any business. This isn't just professional services. This is any kind of company. You need that runway to last forever. Now, where in the heck do you find your first 4 clients or your next 4? Well, we start with family, friends, and our affiliations. This is the first place you should go, your sphere of influence. You need to go out to the people who know you, who like you, hopefully like you, and trust you, that they will say, okay, I know someone, or I am someone who is in need of what you do. This is the first place you should go. I know it sounds kind of cheesy, like to go out, like multi-level marketing does that crap. It tells you go after your friends and family and pitch them on their business opportunity.
Hey, Nana. Hi.
Michael.
People turn to their families all the time when they need help starting out. And if my Nana's Investment Club can help the Michael Scott Paper Company become a reality, then I'm sure that's what you would have wanted. Does want.
You should not do that. You're going after them to give them something that they actually need, something that is going to provide them with a new value. We don't go out there and just say, hey, hire me. We need to find out if they actually have a need. And so we go out to our sphere of influence and say, hey, I'm starting up shop. I've got these skills that solves this problem. And if you know anyone who seems like they need that problem solved, then I'm your huckleberry. I don't know, going full Bond. I don't know. I shouldn't even say it. That's so dumb. That is so dumb.
We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
Your sphere of influence has greater connections than you imagine. There's a book I've recommended over and over again called Getting Everything You Can Out of All You've Got by Jay Abraham. He goes into the fact that we have a lot of resources that we just don't comprehend, that we have them, we have access to them, and we never utilize them. We never even think about them as being assets. And our friends, families, and affiliations are our assets. They're our best ones. So we go out there and we use those connections to help us get to at least the first client. And then that client is going to help us get our second client. If you do your job well, you can get your first few clients just simply from referrals. You go out, you ask somebody, do you know someone? And they will refer you to someone, hopefully. If you don't have a strong network, well, then you're probably going to have to build one. You're going to have to start working on that. And we'll get into some of that here in a little bit. But then we get our first client and we ask that person, do you know someone else just like you? Well, we try to get 5 names, maybe more, 5 other people that we can contact, because out of those 5 people, we might get one of them to become a client. And then when we get that client, we ask for referrals. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. All the people who did not become clients that were referred to us, we're going to ask them for referrals, because they go, oh, I don't need your services. You don't fit with what I need. I don't have that need right now, but I may know 5 other people who do. And so you start asking everyone you come into contact with for referrals to the next one. It's going to feel kind of sleazy at first. You know, I don't know. For me, because I'm an introvert, I just don't like doing it. I don't like asking for it. I don't like asking for referrals. And yet, every time I do, I end up making more money. So you really need to just reach out, swallow your pride and your ego, and just say, hey, do you know anyone? And keep asking each person that you come into contact with, ask them for a referral. Do you know anyone? I'll speak to them, and if you allow me, I'll say you said I should contact them because you might have a need, so that they know that I'm not just coming in cold as a stranger. And then from there, I'll just discover if they have a need. If they don't have a need, I will say thank you, and I will go on my way. There's no hard pitch. I'm going to do consultative selling. In the consultation, if they don't have a need, I'm out of there. But before I go, I'm going to ask for some referrals. So this is the best way for you to start finding your first clients, maybe your first 4 clients. All right, I'm going to take a little break right now and address something really important. This probably already sounds like a lot of work. Probably sounds really hard, right? It is. Business is very hard because not only do you have to do what you do well, you've got to run all the other aspects of a business. You've got to go out and find prospects, and you got to convert those prospects into clients. And then you got to get those clients to actually pay you the money and get it into your bank account. And then after it's in your bank account, you got to deal with bookkeeping, you got to deal with taxes, you got to deal with all kinds of compliance issues. And that's before you're even delivering on what you promised. So you still have to do what you do best. And this is not easy. It is not an easy road. If you're looking for, I'm going to get into an agency because I saw some goofy ass guru tell me that I could get like 20 clients a month and I'll be making a ton of money and it's going to be super easy. I don't even have to do any work. I don't even have to know anything. You're in the wrong place because you're not going to succeed. It is going to be very difficult. Don't believe me? Don't trust me? Go look up agency owners, real ones that have been in business for a while, not the goofy gurus that you see online, but actually go contact real agencies and ask them, is it easy to run your company? And every one of them will tell you, no, it is not. Business isn't easy. It's worthwhile, but it's not easy. Public service announcement over. Let's get back to it. And that takes us into the next part, your hit list. I've done a video on the hit list right there or down in the description. I've done a video on hit lists, and this is something that you need to do. You need to build out a hit list of people to go after, the companies that you want to work with, and find out who in those companies you need to talk to. You're going to get their name, you're going to get their email address, their phone number, their mailing address, all their socials. Like, you're going to find out as much as you possibly can about these people. Most people do cold outreach completely wrong. They get some random ass list, they go out and just start spamming it. And it's always something that's very me focused, has no idea who I am or what my needs could potentially be. So we first develop a list. We want a list of about 50 people because we're going to get to know them. We're going to get to know their business. We're going to get to know things that you could actually help them with. You're going to identify those things and you're going to communicate with them. Will you get these 50 people to become clients? Probably not. You might get one out of those 50 to become a client within a 4-month period. If you ask these 50 people for referrals, you're going to end up with at least another 50 and potentially another 250 people to speak to that will find your first 4 clients out of. So we've gone out to our sphere of influence. We've made a hit list and we're developing relationships with those people on the hit list that we believe we can do great work for. Now we need to support our outreach. If we come out there with nothing to prove that we're an actual expert, then it's going to make our job really hard. So what we're going to do is credibility marketing. I've talked about having credibility indicators before in a bunch of other videos. Credibility indicators are things that prove we know what we're talking about. That could be a degree, that could be certifications, that could be just years of experience. So what we do is we make things that display our credibility. A lot of things that we can do are a YouTube channel that shows like, hey, look, you can watch 20 videos and see that I know what I'm talking about. Or you can read my blog and you go onto the blog and I've got articles that describe how I can solve the actual problems that you have. Or you go to my LinkedIn profile and my LinkedIn profile shows examples of my expertise. These are all things that are credibility indicators, and we've got to structure them correctly. The biggest problem I've ever seen with, well, everyone who does content marketing is that they have this hamster wheel of content creation that they get onto. They just start making content at random. They don't look at their content and say, is this going to help me in my sales process? Oh, if I make this piece of content, will it educate a prospect to get to the next step in the sales process. If not, don't make that piece of content. What we need is a minimum viable dose. This is something that I heard from Tim Ferriss like a decade ago. A minimum viable dose of content are things like, I've got 4 or 5 videos that showcase who I am. You get a bit of my personality. You get to see that I have expertise. I'm addressing things that you've thought about. So like every so often I get somebody who will email me or DM me or comment in the comments below. So go ahead and comment below. If you like this video and tell me you're learning some cool stuff, ask me some questions. I'll definitely answer them. But I get people who say, it's like you've read my mind. This is the perfect thing that you should be getting from your prospects. I saw that video and it felt like you've read my mind, like you knew what was going on. That's because you're an expert. An expert knows the problems that their prospects have. And you're going to display that in video. Hopefully, if you're not cool with doing video, you don't want to, set up lights and have, cool acoustic background and stuff like that. If you don't want to do all that stuff, you're going to do print. Like do graphics. If you're a graphic designer or you've got a graphic designer on staff, then make something very visual. We're going to create 5 pieces of educational content that prove we understand the problems that our prospects have. And we're going to put them everywhere. We're going to put them on our LinkedIn profile, which is a fantastic place because there's a spot where you can put in content that showcases who you are and what you know. Next is to be a guest on 5 podcasts. Doesn't matter what podcasts they are, but hopefully within your industry, something that your prospects would listen to if they knew about it. You're going to get on 5 podcasts and you're going to explain what you know. You're going to share your ideas. You're going to give insights to the listeners that will help them do whatever it is that you do. And you're going to use these as additional credibility indicators. I was on these 5 podcasts, but you're going to take those 5 podcasts, you're going to get permission to take those 5 podcasts, use clips from it for your own socials. You're going to put that on Instagram, little audio clip, turn it into a little video. You're going to take parts of the transcript and you're going to turn that into case studies. The reason we're doing these 5 pieces of content on video and audio and print is that we're going to have something for people to verify our claims when we're doing outreach. Because guess what? When people get your outreach and they're actually interested, what's the first thing they're going to do? They're going to look you up. They're going to see if you're legit. And most of the time, you aren't. Like I get so many of them and I take a look and it's ridiculous how terrible their sites are. Their profiles on socials are really dodgy. They look fake. They look like there's not a real person behind this. And I'm not going to give my hard-earned money to somebody who's fake. Think about that. Like we're going to make as much credibility as we can around us so that when we do our cold outreach, it's supported. When somebody checks you out, they're like, yep, this person knows what they're talking about. I call this augmented reality. We want to augment our reality to show that we're the expert for this person that we're reaching out to. I hope you're getting a lot of value out of this. But we're going to cut this video off right now. My video editor, Pedro Moreno, and I decided this thing was getting a little too long, so we're going to make a part 2, which I will release in a day or 2. Cool? All right, so if that's cool, hit that like button, subscribe, share, and do all the socials, and I'll see you in part 2. Oh, and before you go, check out this video on augmented reality. This is the way to be seen as the go-to expert in your market. Cool? And we're done.